Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you very much for joining us today. We keep hearing this phrase everywhere, the new golden age of Arabic content. We have been seeing exciting times, a great momentum, bolder storytelling, bigger ambitions, as well as regional platforms that are making global noise. But the real question remains, are we simply producing more or are we producing smarter? Today, we will be exploring how the Arabic content is scaling, not just in volume, but in vision, reach, and creative impact. And I'm joined by a great and incredible panel of experts who have been shaping the industry from different angles, from producers, platforms, broadcasters, and innovators. Please join me in welcoming Bilal Trawi, someone who's been bridging between business and creativity, turning big ideas into real impact. We have Mazen Laham, whose different storytelling has been making us very proud on the global stage. Nader Shahata, a strategic deal maker, connecting people, projects, and markets together, making ideas possible. And we have Hiba Sant, a voice of authenticity, and leading digital transformation, ensuring that the content is evolving without losing its roots. And Joe Khawant, a creative mind blending instinct with innovation, ensuring that he knows a step ahead what the customers wants or the viewers wants to see next. Please welcome them. I would like to start by setting the scene. Joe, we keep hearing from everyone that the Arabic storytelling is entering a new golden age. From where you stand today, what does this really mean? And who's driving this momentum?
I believe we need the next broadcast to be told in Arabic, so we make sure that the Arabic content is going more and more. I believe now we hear from time to time about projects that are traveling somehow outside the MENA region. The biggest challenge that we have is already that we are many territories, but this is a good challenge to have in the Arab region. So we know each other and we know how to create authentic content that can travel ahead. It's all in the details. It's not just in the high concept. It's in the details. It's within the details of dialogue, of costume, of locations, of everything. This is where we can make this content go viral.
Globally. But in terms of, let's say, the content, and I'm just fueling what you're saying, do you think this is led by the local audiences demanding better content? Or is it that finally the global platforms are recognizing the potential of our region?
Definitely, you need to start with the local audience. So you can't create global content unless it's very popular within the territory itself, within the localization. So I believe we need to start here and then we look after. It's a challenging, definitely. We need to have a trial and error. It's a growing path, graph. We started somewhere. I just, like 2 days ago, I just learned that someone is willing to make a remake of one of our Young Play originals.
Right.
Yes.
Great. Brilliant. I think, we can just push it a bit more, building on what you're saying. And probably Bilal can actually build on that. In terms of creativity, we've always had this discussion whether it's creative is catching up with the business or is business catching up with the creativity?
Yeah, I think the business is definitely catching up with the creativity. Creatives have always been ahead. The Arab creators love to make content. They're always making good and brilliant content. But now they have better tools. We have more insights. The business is catching up with more enabling the creators more tools and more insights to perform much more. So from my point of view, I think the business is catching up with the creatives.
Would anyone have a differing, probably, opinion on this?
Think both are moving together. That for a long time, that creativity for this region was strong enough, but the attendance for the business wasn't. Recently, with a new platform entering the market, with a new investor that starts spending on the market, with a new collaboration happen, both are. It's not about chasing each other now. It's about moving together in sync. So I think this is going forward. Will be the way how we consolidate between the business and creativity to have or entering the area that we are looking for.
That's amazing. Would anyone like to add anything? Great. This moves me to probably a question that will apply to all of you. And please feel free to answer it. Now we're talking about the business, about the creativity. Recently, has there been any moment from the projects that you have worked on that's when you felt, wow, something is shifting now?
I would say that today one of the wow factors is that seeing how our archived content is moving. Even looking at the old tapes that we have today, reliving these content and restructuring them and reproducing them for the younger generation and seeing how the young generation are resonating and actually enjoying these content is something that was really interesting. Seeing how the mindset has shifted from just filling the grid into how to create a universe. The content journey today is moving from TV to linear to social. It's the journey. Our content is reliving and not dying. So how to create this journey is something really interesting and choose the mindset and the shift in mindset that we're working today.
Actually, this is a fantastic point because every time, whenever we speak about content, we speak about the what of what the audience wants. But also the where is changing as fast as what. And this brings me to the question, like, how do you see the shift? Because we've seen a shift that's happening from linear to OTT, and then now we have the social media platforms that are mainly led by Gen Z. How are you adapting to this shift? Mazen?
I'd say that still like Gen Z and the attention span and now the availability of playing the series or any piece of content on double speed on our mobiles, this is a whole changing story, and even the micro drama that I think you will take it to another question. But I believe it's still within taking the audience from a moment to another. It's not even taking them from an episode to another. It's taking them from a certain moment in the beginning to a certain moment to a certain moment and hooking them throughout all of those moments to create the whole, to be able to tell them the whole story. Because the attention span and how they consume content, they are used to just swipe and to go through this, I'd say, a roller coaster of emotions. Like you can go through a funny video and then a thrilling video, and then so this is how we need to replicate it still, but we have a certain rules for the genre of drama that we need to keep it.
Please, Nader.
From our side, that when we enter the market for the co-production, we think that, and we believe always that the engine of the content is the audience and the demand for the content. But at the same time, that still the content will be still the king for the game. So what we try to do over that last few years, to take the risk in choosing the kind of content that will be attract all that kind of viewership, starting from the Gen Z till the millennial and the old generation. So, for example, one of the recent projects we are working on it is the first thriller content that's written by Gen Z workshop. So hopefully soon it will see the light. We try on this one to have interaction with the viewer itself. We're adding the interaction for the viewer, that how the end of each episode should be. This is a little bit tough to produce, but we're trying to take this risk to ally with the new demand of the content. Over the last 7 years, we entered the market with as a foreign investor, and you know about this one, you've been part of the journey. And I think it was a tough challenge to produce plus 17 content in 7 years in a tough competition. But we always believe the leadership is not about the quantity of the content, but about, or the volume. It's about the vision that you have to continue. And this is what we are trying to do over the last 3 years.
Actually, this is an amazing point because you're talking about the reach. In this case, when we are talking about, let's say, scale, like we hear this coming up in the industry a lot. The scale is not always about probably budget. Some say it's reach. Mazen, in your opinion, how would you define scale from where you sit today?
You mean the scale of the volume or the scale?
No, it's your personal definition of what a scale is, because it can vary from one person to another in the industry. What does scale mean to you?
You mean, you mean the scale of the number of productions done?
It could be production in terms of probably budgets. It could be in terms of volume, in terms of reach.
Audience.
Audience.
Reach.
I have a different opinion. I might not answer your question. I still have an opinion that the market is still not mature enough in all. I'm in the scripted more. I'm in the scripted, so we also even suffer more than scripted. So I feel still the market is not mature in general. There is lack of competition. Like there's 2-3 main platforms we work for, or 5 maximum. And this is, I feel the scale of production is low. So
Okay.
there's not enough. There's lots of creative work. There's lots of creatives, but there's no platforms for us to put this content on. So this is my opinion.
So you believe that creativity is there, but we don't have the
We're,
right.
we're
probably
flooded by
platforms.
creativity. We don't like creativity.
Does this mean in this case that the creativity is not able to catch up with the business, or the business is not catching up with this creativity?
The business is not able to
Catching
catch
up
up with the creativity, of course.
We are in engagement period, not the marriage yet. Engagement period, so still trying to know each other.
I don't believe there is still a real business in the region compared to other regions and territories. Okay.
Okay, is it in terms
I'm
of...
not being pessimistic, but there's good examples. You can take India as an example. Like
Right.
the whole MENA region, you cannot compare it to India. Like it's,
Because India is
I'm just-
vast, like in terms of size, I would say India is way bigger than the Middle East combined. Is it because the
including
competition
Egypt,
there is
we're
very... So do you think because over there we have different dialects, we have different languages, different territories, the competition is quite high? Here, if we're looking at the MENA region overall, it's kind of divided into sub-regions, I would say. You have
Yes.
the Levantine, you have Egypt and GCC. And currently we're trying to talk about probably content traveling abroad, wherein we still are facing a challenge in having the content actually travel within this region. Like North Africa, for instance, probably we have Egyptian content that is traveling into the rest of the regions, while we have the other North African content that kind of struggle to find their way into the region. So I think there's still a lot of room for us in this area. Actually, I'm not here to give my opinion.
Okay.
When we're talking about scale, you're finding an issue in terms of reach. And I think, like, for example, you were able to create content that appealed to global audience through a platform like Netflix, right? You found probably the recipe
more of
for
these.
that. My question is, when global audience are watching Arabic content, what are they looking for exactly?
I think answering your question about the scale in Arabic content or drama, in my point of view, it's reaching more people across more places with a better quality. So I think the game now to create a strong storytelling that can open the door for more production to cross the broad. So this is the things. For example, the business model which you are working is a marriage between the Indian format, successful Indian format, which is tested already in the Middle East, to have this marriage with a local creativity, to get a new product that can travel abroad and can have across the border to the global reach. So, in my point of view, this is the scale in the Arabic content.
If I can add, it's more about, to me, I would say it's more about the lifespan and how it resonates. Today, the series and the characters and the story travels and stays. So it's about the characters staying in the community, traveling in the stories that we say in social media. It doesn't, we don't see it and after it ends. So it's the travel span of the content or the series.
So it's not about budget anymore. Yani, I think skill is more about it's a culture and digital reach. It's when the content becomes a conversation. When everyone talks about the content, when everyone talks about the projects, now we can see a mobile production, and everyone is talking about it. So I think the skill is when the content becomes a conversation. Yeah.
Definitely. I think whenever we're talking about this, we're talking about the expansion to, let's say, vertical dramas or micro dramas. Now, currently, everyone is just talking about vertical dramas. I'm not sure if it's a trend that will hopefully continue with proper focus and investments, actually. But when we're talking about these vertical dramas, do you consider them now as incubators for bigger IPs and for stories, or do you think that they can reach a point wherein they are respected in their own rights and competing with long-form content?
I would say that regarding verticals, or talking a little bit about the scale, because we are like Arab is a young or leaning toward being a young population, where the content that is targeting young audience is like very, very, very small. And the problem is actually it's maybe because young audience are bolder than any one of us. And here they have access to international content where they see the cast talking their way, acting their way, but we're being scared a little bit in this way. Yet we are making some steps as Yango. One of the steps that I'm proud of is One Last Sin. We had a storyline about a young generation that we tried to make it I'm not going to say bold, I'm going to say true to reality. So, and then now about the vertical and short drama, it needs to be even more bold because this is what attracts people. I'm not a fan of, but if we go through the most downloaded app in MENA region, 3 out of the top 10 are about short drama and micro drama, which says a lot, which says that we are a young population. There is need for for content targeting young audience. If it's going to be vertical, then it should be vertical. It should be planned to be vertical because it's not something that we can edit out or make a short version of a normal episode. It has to be full of hooks, and it should be bold.
Okay, so we're talking about content being specific to vertical and content that is specific for long form. But can't we look, for example, at hybrid models, for example, wherein you will have a story where it will be catered completely to vertical and then we have content that is for long form for the likes of different audience?
In my opinion, it's a different game. It's as if you're asking a football player to play basketball. It's a different game with different rules. Microdrama is not a genre, it's a format by itself that needs to be created for this purpose.
I think the vertical formats it resonates more to the audience, and it crosses borders. Today we resonate to such content more because we watch it on our phones, and the consumption on our phones is high. So these kind of content is the content that cross borders and reach. So if we want our stories and series to go and travel beyond our region, I think this is the way that we can move forward today, and maybe start by it starts from day one when we're producing the series. So starting from then and creating not only long formats, also vertical and short formats. This is when we speak hybrid. So it's from the start. It's not after we finish we go and clip and fix the formats.
I think the vertical or microdrama, it's become fact now. We cannot deny it anymore. Unfortunately, it's a trend, and most of the producer or the content creator, they are following the trend, which is ideally, we have to setting the system to put a proper stage to have strong storytelling. Because what happened now, even before the world of vertical drama or microdrama start, it's already start as a content for social media, social platforms. And it was stay by its own. But currently, we can use short forms, which can easily travel to and cross the broad as a start point to create a long form from it. Because yes, it's not easy to monetize that such a vertical drama, and the business model for it need to be prepared in a better way to match the region. Because when it started in China, it was a whole different game, and it's not only about the content creation. So we have to relook to the vertical content, and I think by sometimes it should be a start point to test the content that use it for the long form as well.
So basically an incubator for bigger, probably IPs.
Exactly. So the hybrid model, yes, it can be happen, but it's need a lot of study for how to make it easily to monetize.
Which brings me to my next question. If we're talking about vertical dramas now, we are still exploring with a lot of content. What, in your opinion, would be the opportunities in terms of commercial and creative through vertical dramas?
It will be much easier because it's less restriction that you have. It's anyway that it's a start as a content for social media, which is you have less restriction. Yes, when you start outside, it depends more about the bold content. While in Middle East, we have more restrictions, more rules to follow. But still, it's easier to make product replacement. It's easy to make a hook with the operation company that to monetize the money of viewing. It's easier to hook with ad sales. So I think everyone look to the vertical content or for the microdrama only from a creative perspective.
In terms of reach.
Yes.
Creativity and reach.
We have to look from it how to monetize such a content to make it more profitable as well.
I think it gives you more room through different platforms. Like you have the social media. Like it kind of probably reduces the risk because when we're talking long form, you are limited to certain probably windows. When it comes with vertical, you will still have the option of social media, which is still open for everyone. If we're moving probably away from, let's say, just the commercial side of it, if we want to talk about the vertical dramas being a gateway, do you think it will be a gateway for our talents to actually reach a global audience faster?
I think vertical dramas made us rethink about the pace because anyone who has a mobile can make a vertical drama. It doesn't need to have a big crew or premium equipment. I think all of us now can watch a lot of content creators who only use their mobiles, and they made a huge reach, a global reach. So I think the vertical drama and short videos are the fastest passport for all our local talents. Yeah, I believe so.
Because you have no restriction. It's just open for everyone. Mazen, your expertise mainly is in the reality area. If we're talking about short form drama, would this be your choice in terms of entry in case you choose to get into Arabic production, in terms of drama production?
No, not really. Like, I don't think scripted would work for microdrama. It has to be scripted because it's not easy as well to do because you need to have like in series we do for Netflix or other platforms, we make sure to have very strong cliffhangers. In microdrama, you have like every minute if a cliffhanger, and the toughest thing to do is the cliffhanger where you want to watch more. This leads you to pay money and watch more and more and more. So it's very tricky to do microdrama. And I believe with what Joe said about being bold, I think if it's going to be very safe in the region, it's not going to do as good as others. Similar to what he mentioned on other international platforms where people can see any, it's open. You can watch anything you want. So yeah, so I believe
So-
it has to be bolder, and and this is part of the. I'm not promoting it, but this is the truth.
No, my question, it's actually, let me say it in a different way. If you are given the choice now to enter into the drama space,
Okay.
scripted, would you choose to enter that through long form or through short form?
Long form.
Long form.
Long form. Sorry,
Is there any specific reason why?
I like to go the classical correct way, then go to the new. We still, it's not proven that it's whether it's successful or not. Like it has to live some
Still in
years.
the testing and exploration
Yeah.
phase, I would say. Okay, let's move to another interesting topic that actually everyone is always interested in, which is the co-production. It's working now? Okay. It's the financing and co-production. I think this is the area everyone is interested in, apart from taking the content into global markets. What models are truly working in the region that will help the content scale and sustain scaling? Because we know there are multiple financing models that are floating in the markets, working. It depends on which model works for which entity. But in your viewpoint, what would be the right model that will help the content scale and sustain scaling?
You allow me.
Yes.
I don't think there is a standard model that matching with everyone. Each one looking for the model that suits him, suits his opportunities, and suit that business model that he can generate more money or create better content. It's not an announcement for our model. I think most of the market know about our model, but our model, for example, we start 7 years ago, and as I mentioned, we create more than 17 content with more than 12 to 13 producers in the market, from Egypt, from Levant, from Gulf. And we work with all the categories of producer, the startup companies, that mid-range companies, and the big production companies. And I think the strength of our model is about trust and belief. We are not only working, maybe we start the market as an only business model, but then we start to have a vision to improve this business model, to also create a very content that sustain and travel. We take the risk with some unique stories. As I mentioned, most of our projects start with Indian format. that can match with that mindset of the Middle East, and we come up with a new baby that can travel outside the region. We focus on the social drama. One of our content is about the second chance after divorce. One of them it's about autism. Some of, as I mentioned, there is a new production. It's about the Gen Z writing a thriller. Some of the production was about horror comedy, and also we work on some novel like Shabab Bra'a last year. And this year, for example, we have one of the biggest Shami content to will be in the region. Soon, inshallah, Ramadan, you're gonna watch. So we explore all that kind of content, and the milestone for us to win and to each project should be profitable. So also our partner can generate more money and can continue with us. So we're looking always for a strategic partner. So I think our business model prove it succeed while it's continued till now.
Wish you all the best with all the upcoming
you.
projects. Okay, brings me to a fun question. I think because if we're asking each one, will kind of say in terms of co-production models, as you said, Nader, it will depend on what suits the producer or the partners at the time. If you are giving a $50 million, this is a question that would be for all. $50 million to create the Arabic Game of Thrones. Which element would you protect more? Are we looking about the creative vision, the IP, or the financing model? Which point you will protect more, not let go of?
IP.
IP.
I think authenticity of the show itself.
Creative vision?
Yeah, creative vision. Yeah.
I have a long answer.
Please go ahead.
I believe what we need to do with $50 million. I would do what I made within the last 2 years, double and triple, and keep going. And because the thoughts is industrial, we're talking about an industry that we want to export, not import. It's industrial speech, like boring industrial thing. We need to export, yes. So we need to produce, we need to test, we need. So we need to do this in order to be able to create in few years, not tomorrow, not next year, in a few years, a profitable business out of creating and producing and
As an industry.
Yes.
For a matured industry.
I would say authenticity.
Which is the creative
Yes,
vision
the
that's
creative
behind
vision, yes.
Are you sure you'll give a 50 million?
$50 million.
I think if I got this amount, I'll create a fund for co-production, which can protect
No,
the three of them.
we're talking about a project.
This is
One project,
the fund box that can protect the 3 point. But the main thing I think will be the IB. Always the IB, this is the soul of any project. After that, once you have the IB protected and the content you have, then you can look for the financial part and the creativity part as well.
I love how each have a completely different answer, but your answer, Nader, brings me to another question. Every time we speak about content, all of a sudden, all we're talking about is an IP. In terms of IP has different extensions. Extensions that, in terms of monetization that we can use, or building up on a story and taking it over years. And there are certain content where we see, okay, the story is not scalable. It's a one-time content that will leave an impact, and that's it. Yet we are still fighting over the IP of such content. Why do you think so?
And this has happened recently, by the way, that over the last 10 years, it's barely you hear the word IP. Most of the producer, they produce the content to sell to different platform, and then if he got the chance to have a buyout, he leave the content. But the IP, it's a start recently when the digital platform also become in the game. So everyone looking to the IP to valuation part, it's an asset. So This fight started recently, over especially last 4 or 5 years. But before that, it was very traditional. The producer produces a show, he keeps the IP for himself. There is no sharing for the IP, and very clear. Now, most of the platform and broadcaster, they're looking for this IP to have their own assets. So it lead the producer to become in the end as executive producer for the project, not as owning for the IP itself.
Because usually producers used to risk the production themselves. Now they are waiting to get the fund out of the platform so they can. This is one thing, and another thing I would say that coming from a data perspective, because like now throughout our dashboards, you can see. You can understand what's working, what's not working, who's your audience, who's not your audience, and how content is really doing. I think because of the knowledge of this knowledge, the platform are taking over this privilege to get the IP. And at the end of the day, IP should be monetized. If we're putting it in the drawer, we're killing the art, we're killing it, we're not making this industrial aspect that we need to grow. Like IPs should be monetized and should be all over the years, like, and not just put it, burn it, done.
Moving on to a different discussion. When we're talking about like every renaissance eventually gives way to its new wave. So if we want to talk about our young Arab storytellers who will be actually taking the flag ahead, how do we make sure that they have the access, the tools, and the confidence for the next era to take it ahead? So,
Access to what?
Access to the tools, access for the young Arab storytellers. How can we ensure that they have access, tools, and confidence for them to take ahead what we've been building?
Actually, I think that the young Arab creators are faster than us. They are looking for every new tool. They can ask anyone all over the world about any new information. They're very creative. The pace is very fast. It's different now. We can talk about we have to learn them how to do it. Actually, they are doing it. They are doing it every day. So I believe they are doing very well. And the platforms are enabling these creators with the latest tools and the latest insights, and they are up to date. From my point of view, I think they are up to date, and they're mixing the universal demand of the main feelings, the main emotions like love, loss, power, with the authenticity of the look and feel of our life. That's it.
So actually, through social media, in this case, you think that this is a window for them to actually take it ahead. And I think in this case, probably the vertical dramas can be, for them, the gateway.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Perfect. I think because we do believe that the people actually, the legacy is built on people. So it will be us, in this case, trying to promote these storytellers and not just shifting the same faces from long form into short form. I want to ask you another question. In case we meet 5 years later down the line, again, here at Broadcast Pro with Vijaya, in your opinion, what would success look like for the Arabic storytelling on the global stage?
In my opinion, a business export of IPs and ready-made episodes and remake internationally. This would make and making the Arab language more popular.
Actually, you said a very important point in the beginning, which I wanted to actually wrap up with as well, is like we hope in the next experience, we always talk about the Arabic drama and we choose to speak to it in a different language. I'm hoping like next time when we are discussing it in Arabic, and we make sure that the translation is available for others to actually help us take that language further. And with this, I think we can wrap up our discussion. It's, I think, a perfect closing. And I would like just to highlight that I think we're not just witnessing a moment. What we're actually doing is we are shaping a new movement for Arabic content, where Arabic content and Arabic stories are not just rising, but they connect, they travel, and they stay true to where they come from. Thank you very much for our panelists, and thank you very much, everyone.